Hello, welcome back to our bite-sized reviews. Today we're going to be talking about the Arrow of Infinity from the Necron Codex. Now of course the Arrow of Infinity is one of our Necron relics, so it will cost us 1 command point pre-game, and you will require a character model that's got the Tachyon Arrow to take this relic. Now there's actually only 2 models within the entire codex that can take the Tachyon Arrow. That's the Necron Overlord and Anrakir the Traveller. Now of course Anrakir the Traveller is a named character, so he cannot take any relics. So that just leaves the Necron Overlord. So let's first begin with what is the Tachyon Arrow. So the Tachyon Arrow is a ranged weapon. It's got 120 inches, assault 1, strength 12, minus 5 AP, and the damage is D6. Now this is a once per battle item. Once you have fired it, that is it. You can't fire it anymore. But when you do upgrade it to the Arrow of Infinity, this is what it does. So it's still 120 inch range, it's still assault 1, but now instead of being strength 12, it's strength 16. It's still minus 5 AP, but the damage is now a flat 6. It's not D6 damage, it's now a flat 6 damage. But again, it is a one-use only weapon. So that strength upgrade to strength 16 means you're virtually going to be wounded on a 2+, unless you're going up against them really rare models that have got a toughness value of a 9. But yeah, hitting on a 2+, wounded on a 2+. The only problem now is going up against invulnerable saves. Because if there is no invuln save, it's pretty much going straight through. Now, Armour of Contempt does come into play here. If you're going up against Power Armour, that brings it down to minus 4 AP. And if they've got a 2+ armour save, that will leave them with a 6+ armour save. But units that have got a 2+ armour save tend to have an invuln save anyway. There's not that many units that are on a 2+ without an invuln. Sanguinary Guards spring to mind, but there's not that many in the actual game itself. But the main point of note here is the reliable damage being a flat 6. Now in my opinion, you need to be using this as early as possible. You don't want to be getting into your mid game or even the late game without firing this thing, because maybe you're going to lose your character. Your character can get targeted by certain units that ignore the Lookout Sir rule perhaps. Or maybe he just gets caught in combat and then he gets destroyed and you've not even used your relic. So you may as well use it as early as possible in my opinion. Turn 1, turn 2, you've got the 120 inch range, you may as well make the most of it. So ideally you want to be targeting a monster or a vehicle model with tons of wounds. Now not so much ones that can regenerate their wounds, and also ideally something that doesn't have an invulnerable save as well. Now going up against the bigger stuff, you're not likely to remove those models off the tabletop, but you're going to massively damage or even bracket those models, and then the rest of your army can actually finish the job. I mean, maybe the target is a transport model. It could be a Rhino, an Orc Battle Wagon, maybe even a Drukhari Raider. If you manage to pop one of those kind of vehicles early in the game, before it's actually managed to travel across the board and disembark the units, then yeah, you've literally slowed their entire army down and preventing them from doing what they want to be doing. Or maybe you're firing against a Tau Hammerhead. Now you're not going to bracket that Hammerhead, but it's only going to be now 1 wound away from being bracketed. So again, you can get another unit to take that wound off. It's now bracketed. It's now hitting on a 5+. So that heavy railgun that it's got that does loads of damage, loads of mortal wounds, yeah, it's not going to be doing as much because it's now hitting on a 5+ naturally. Now there is an alternative target for the Arrow of Infinity, and that's against character models. Now unfortunately you can't snipe those characters out because of the Lookout Sir rule, so you will need to clear any screens off before actually using it. But if you do manage to clear off a screen and the character model is out in the open, or there's less than 3 models within 3 inches of that character model, this is where you take your shot at that character, taking away 6 wounds from that kind of model. In particular the ones that don't have an invuln save, again, like our Technomancers as an example. If they got fired upon with this kind of weapon, they'd be out of here. It's the same with Apothecaries, Pain Boys, those second tier kind of character units. They're not going to have the invuln saves, and yeah, they're going to be really good to get rid of early on. But if you're going up against the main characters with the invulnerable saves, it's probably not ideal, because if they've got a 4+ invulnerable save, there's a half a chance of it just completely bouncing off and doing absolutely nothing. I just wanted to throw this in here. There is the option of using the Techno-Oracular targeting stratagem for a command point to automatically wound the target. Now you are likely going to be wounded on a 2+ anyway, so it's not really required. But yeah, you are literally wounding like 95% of the game on a 2+ roll. I'd rather just burn a CP to re-roll it, and that's only if I had to because I already rolled a 1. But yeah, rolling a 1 and then following up with another 1, that's just dice at the end of the day. But overall, I don't really think this is going to be one of those relics that I'm going to be taking that often, if I'm honest with you. I don't care too much about it. 1 command point pre-game when CP has now been limited since the Nephilim chapter approved book. I think we've got better options within our codex in terms of the relics, with the Veil of Darkness as an example, or even the Orb of Eternity, which we actually reviewed quite recently. Now don't get me wrong, it is quite nice to deal out a flat 6 damage, but we've got Locust Heavy Destroyers, they can do that kind of job just fine. We don't need to spend a relic in order to do that. So for me, for the Planet 40k rating today, I'm going to be going with a generous 2-star rating.